Morning.
Monday.
You're killing me.
I'm not killing you.
I told the judge it's killing me.
You
see that?
Killing you.
That's road dirt on my grass lane hat.
Road dirt, huh?
Killing me, Judge.
No, nice.
Christie, okay?
Okay.
How big is this meeting gonna be?
Huh? 5 minutes, oh, there's nobody in the audience, so I don't think.
Turn it off. I don't want to hear me. It's on. We're being recorded right now. We're being recorded right now. We're being recorded.
I don't even think we're up.
Go get the other side.
Yours goes in and out when if you move your mic, just so you know. Somehow it hits the thing, so just make sure yours is on, Judge.
Don't sit down, Judge. Chairs.
Don't sit down, Judge. We go to the floor. Take her one down, break down.
Got a shave this weekend.
Don't care.
It ain't as bad as the last one.
No, that ain't, I told him, I said, don't go quite that short.
Severe. That's the last one.
Don't go quite that bad. You just had to get closer when you can see yourself better.
So put your phone on mute, Brandon.
Yes.
It's very rude. That's very rude last time.
I don't have to call y'all and see if it.
I wished I could have put mine on Saturday night. I was out for 1:30.
Yeah, my guys had trees too.
Trees all over.
I didn't go.
I had them from Myrtle Springs to north of Wheelsboro.
My great old broke down.
What?
My great old.
I've been tearing down about, pushed down over about 20 trees.
Did you get that thing running?
Yeah, I got my track hole running. Started mowing. Got my skid steer and mulch mower going. Got it stuck for 5 minutes. I had it.
You spent some money. Oh my God.
Morning.
Morning. It's good person. Not bad. I got something with you.
I see who your buddy is.
That's right. It ain't me. We ain't been friends since I got here. We've been recorded.
I told her, I said.
Yeah, she's Chandler press friend.
I told her, I said,
See, that settles it for me.
I told her, I said, Mitch used to tell me I was the only friend he had in the courthouse, and I said, I don't know how long that's gonna last.
I don't have any.
Everybody need water.
I gotta show you.
I just talked to you.
Got Skeeter.
I asked him.
Oh.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad you're here. Hello. Yes.
I need a blank piece of paper. You got anything you gonna hand us?
Yes, I do. I have a handout. I'm glad you're here, Sheriff. I tried calling you this morning to give you a heads up, but
Yeah.
I do. But y'all can't read ahead. Because you're old.
Pretty sure I'm that she'll be there.
Ain't read it either.
Page one you can see.
That go first, too.
You can see the cover. Okay.
All right. I'll call this meeting to order if everyone will silence their cell phones. It is 9:01. We're ready. This is budget workshop, and the purpose of today. It's back to. Trying to get to where. All right. Objectives for today is to determine the salary increase for county employees. To oh, there's Cliff. To determine the proposed tax rate and to address anticipated additional costs. Okay, so we'll move forward. We got our tax rates from the appraisal district on Friday of last week. And our current fiscal year tax rate is 39 cents, 39.96 cents. That was what we used for fiscal year 26. The fiscal year 27 no new tax rate is 39.367 cents, and which is lower than our current rate. And then the voter approved tax rate is 44.0579 cents. So we go from the no new revenue, which is below our current rate, to basically a 4 cent, just a little over 4 cent increase to the voter approved rate. So we have that's the range. And so what I want to do now is kind of give you a guidance on what that means. So if you look at it over here, you'll see we've got the no new revenue rate 27, what our fiscal 26 rate was. And then I put the no new revenue plus 1.1593 cents. I added to it. So to give us an idea of what increases would be all the way down to the voter approved tax rate. So if you look at the first one, the no new revenue rate, we would have 39 cents and 39.3670 cents. And that would bring the county $14,367. 14 million. Road and Bridge 10.8 million for a total of 25.254. And our total revenue from last year was 25 million, a little slightly over 25 million. So even though the no new revenue is slightly more than that right there. So if we used the current tax rate, then and by the way, this road and bridge amount includes all of the special road tax, which is roughly $6 million, 5.5 to 6 million, and it includes 25% allocation from the general fund. Okay, from the regular property taxes. Our property taxes last year we lowered it to 20%, 20.3%, in order to help meet budget necessities. This year we're going back to 25. That's additional, generally about 800,000 to $1 million that is going to go to the road and bridge. So these numbers right here reflect that 25% of the general property taxes. So with the fiscal 29 fiscal year 29 rate, we would raise roughly 25.8 million. And then each one of these, adding the 0.1593 generally adds about $500,000 to the total. So if you go down here and you'll see all the way down, and the final one, which is the voter approved tax rate, that's the maximum rate we could charge for property taxes without going to the voters for an increase. Anything over that, we'd have to go to the voters for an increase, and that's roughly 4 cents increase. So you're looking at, if you look over here on the left hand side, you're looking at, we're going from roughly 25 million to 28 million, up to 28 million. So that's a $3 million difference between the two. And so that's the total revenue from property taxes. Okay. So, and what does that mean as far as for each, the actual increase that we've got? So the increase for the year from last year, the county would go down 860. And again, that's because we are doing 25% to road and bridge instead of 20%. And then as we move along, then the county amount goes up a little bit more as we increase the revenue. And again, you'll see the total. And what this is the total dollars over fiscal year 26 that we would get from these different entities or rates. And so again, it would be up to 2.8 million if we went with the full voter approved tax rate. So that is what we can anticipate. Now, one of the things that I need to preface this is the last 2 years, we have used basically just a hair above the no new revenue rate, rather than a hair below the voter approved tax rate. And that has resulted in the taxpayers getting charged less to the tune of $1.5 million each year. So we go into this year basically $3 million below what we could have had if we had used a higher rate in 24 and 25. Okay. So, but we'll never get that amount back. So we can only go 3.5% above what we started with, 25 million, and in that regard. So that's the amount that we have available to us, or depending on the tax rate that we've got. And all right, now what I want to do is go through what we're looking at expense wise, or so one of the things we've got. I want to do with the projected salaries and benefit increase. Okay, so there's three different scenarios I have here, which we can modify if we need to, but no increase, which means there's no payroll increases for anybody. There's a 3% increase and a 5%. With no increase, we're looking at 354,000. And why do you say that when there's no increase? That's because of the health insurance, basically $1,000 per employee. And there's also increases in the unemployment and the workers' comp from previous years, because last year we didn't adjust the rates. And so we're basically adjusting the rates for 2 years. And so if we did no salary increases, it would be $354,000. If we did a 3% increase for all employees, it would be $710,558, and a 5% increase would be $985,644. Okay. So those are the scenarios on it. And what I'm saying, the increase, that is what over and above what we had last year. That's how much it would be over and above last year's budget. Okay, now we've got other expense requests. Now this is everything below, for those of you that do the budgets, everything below the personnel line. Okay, this is all of the capital expenditures and the regular expenditures that we go through. And we've got the different categories that we put together. So public safety requested 597,000, 472,000. Of that, 325K is for auto purchases. And then the fuel increase. That's the majority of what is in the public safety. That includes, public safety includes the sheriff, the jail, the constables, and security. Okay. Other department, 195,000. And what that includes, another non-department is basically falls under the county judge. This is things that don't fall directly into any specific department or contracts or whatnot. And most of that, not 195,000, was a proposed $90,000 increase for the volunteer fire departments. We currently pay them $600 a month. That comes up to about $89,000 a year. And the request that I have in is that we double it to, so basically $1,200 a year. They have not gotten, we have not provided the $600 a month was last updated in 2012. So it hasn't increased. They're 18,000 K, and that's the groundwater district. These are the legal fees required to help do the form the groundwater district. And then there's other contract services increases. So that's what the non-department is. Judicial, there was a $46,000 increase. Which 35K is juror expense, which kind of is a misnomer because we get that money back from the state. Most all of it comes back from the state, but we have to allocate it. So that's what's there. And then admin 8,000. This is basically all the other the training and postage increases for many of the departments for additional training and whatnot. Road and Bridge General. 2,000. So the total increase request for the other departments comes up to 849,555. So that is what we've got for total. So now new positions, as I mentioned to you before, that the total amount of new position requests was 1.8 million. This is the detail right here of all the different positions that have been requested. For the top is the basically the general office, general fund positions. The bottom of the screen is the road and bridge, and then the sheriff and jail. These are the positions. Now, if you look, I'm gonna go back. Let me go back here. No. What the salary increase right here, this is the amount of salary, this line right here, for the individual be paid, okay, the rate. And again, these are all fiscal year 26 rates. These do not include the 5% or 3% or 0%. They don't include any kind of raise that we're going into. So that would be in addition. So all these positions have specific pay rates, and if we give an increase, then these amounts would need to go up. So the position, the far column over here, it represents the total cost with all the benefits in, and all the benefits include health insurance, retirement, FICA, unemployment, workers' comp. Okay, so that is what is all there. So those are all the positions that we had right there. In addition, we had several requests to change a pay grade or pay amount, and these are the ones there for the JP clerks. They wanted to change them up to court coordinators, and the DPS office coordinator. They requested an increase there, so that's $44,000 there. So that all has to be taken into consideration on what we want to do, those positions right there. So now, one of the things, and Sheriff, I'm glad you're here because I didn't have a chance to talk to you about that before this. But one of the issues that I ran across while I was preparing all this stuff. And what many people may not know is the jail costs. And that's because sometime around, our jail capacity is a 144. And we've run most of the year with 125 inmates in the jail. And sometime around late May and early June, that number started creeping up to the point now we're at over 150 inmates that the county is responsible for housing. And with that, we are actually housing some of those in Henderson County. And those costs are charged to us each month at $52 an inmate. And so currently we have, I believe, 32 inmates in our in Henderson County. And we have to leave room in our jail for people being booked in. And so that's why we have that many there. So I went and looked at current year. I just took these three accounts from the jail and where we're at. This was as of July 31st. Okay. And this is the year-to-date amount that we spent right here. And this shows the remaining amount available to us. Okay. So, inmate food is obvious what that is. Contract services right here. This includes, part of that is the base rate for the health services, and also includes all of our charges for outsourcing inmates to other counties. Okay. And our inmate medical expense, that is over and above the base rate. Okay. So, and this was as of July 31st. And by my calculations, from what I've seen in the billing that comes in, if you look at the projected over the fiscal year 26 budget, we're going to be 15,000 on the inmate food. Contract services be 97,000, and inmate medical expense is 56,000, for a total of over 168,000. And again, this is my projections based on what I know is coming in. We had roughly 30 inmates in July in Henderson County, and that bill came to $47,000. And we are 30 inmates down there right now, and will be for the foreseeable future. Part of the issue of all this, and that between this and our indigent legal defense, which I'll talk about in a minute, is the transition period that we have with the new district attorney. And what I believe is we're not getting we're not moving people out of the system in a fast enough rate, and I don't anticipate that that's going to change for at least 6 months until the transition has been made. And we've got things, and Judge Martin is going to come talk to us tomorrow about the indigent legal defense and the issues that we've got on that. And but my concern right here is, okay, that I believe this is what we're going to encounter for this fiscal year right here, and as far as over. But these budget amounts right here for fiscal year 26, the requested budget for 27 includes a $35,000 increase in inmate food, but there's no increase showing for contract services or inmate medical expense, and that we're going to have to address that. That is going to have to figure out, and with not knowing how fast we're going to get inmates out of the system, in and out of the system, we're going to need to address that, and we'll do that during the sheriff's budget time. So anyway, what I'm saying is we're going to need to add more to the current budget for these two right here, just based on that. Now, indigent legal defense, and I'm sorry, Cliff, are you, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, we didn't know we can hear you. Okay. So our indigent legal defense for fiscal year 27. Okay, this shows you a history. These are the numbers that we report to the appraisal district, and these numbers are used to help reduce or increase our tax rate because it shows the increase in these expenses that we are incurring. And so you see in July 24, 625,000 in indigent defense. July 25, we went up to 713. And it was in 25 that we took on CPS cases. And a lot of that is a result of that. And it didn't come into full force until July 26. And you see we're at 867,000. So the increase over the prior years is 153 and 87. So these numbers just keep going up, and there is again, this may be subject to a workshop to see ways that we can address this, and so that's what I got right there. So I have now presented to you what I consider what our cost is. Okay, so and what I'm going to do is do a summary right here. Okay, salary increase. You see, we have the 3 different levels of salary increase. The other expense is I left it same, and again, those numbers are based on what was requested, and those numbers can be modified up and down. Okay, new positions at a 1.8 million. I believe the most we can do is $500,000 in new positions. And so I went ahead and put that in there. And then additional, I put, this is the 400,000 that I would think that would cover the jail cost for the added inmates as well as the indigent legal defense. And so, which currently those numbers are not in our requested budget. So these are the total amounts of new spending over fiscal year 26 on the bottom. So it ranges from 2.1 million to 2.7 million. So if we go back now, you know that 2.1 to 2.7, this was chart that I had before showing you the different rates that we had right here and the total amount of new revenue that would generate. So in order, there's 2.7 is right there at no new revenue plus 0.04593. Okay. Or if we cut the 2.7 back, and we could go to the lower rate. So that is the presentation of the cost increases and the tax rate. And so now I'm open for discussion on where we want to go as far as the tax rate and the salaries.
I think before we do that, these new position requests, we need to look at that
Okay.
because let's take the veteran service officer.
Okay.
Let's
You
start
want to
there.
see? You want to see my proposed?
Mhm.
The 500,000 proposed. I didn't put it in the packet because I didn't know if we wanted. This was. Let's see if I can. These were the 3 positions in the general fund that I recommend based on the amount of activity that these departments are currently handling, and the need is there. So these are the 3: the county clerk, the county auditor, and the fire marshal part-time deputy. that would come as a total of $170,000.
So you went from 759,000 to 170.
That's correct. Again, the proposal I was 500,000 total for new positions. Okay, and then on the sheriff, we allocate 330,000 to the sheriff to determine which positions he wants to apply that to. That's roughly a third of the request, but it's so one of the things that we're going to need to talk about in the sheriff's session, we maybe even talk about it now, is we have the ability, or the jail has, say, minimum security section that we currently are not using. And that section can hold 24 inmates. But in order to open that, we would need additional correction officers. And I believe you said 4, correct? We would need 4 correction officers in order to house that. There's actually only 1 that's going to be responsible back there, but you've got 12 hours in that regard. And by doing that, opening that up, we then save the outsourcing of inmates to Henderson County.
So you said we save. Have we done the numbers to where if we open that up, how much would it save us not having to transport? Because even though it's going to cost us 52 hours a day to transport them, what's it going to cost to hire what's needed?
Well, that $52 a day don't even cover the expenses
No.
of transport.
Right.
Right.
So-
I guess my question is opening that up and having to hire,
That's what I asked
Two.
the other day.
is it
Well, if you
saving
look-
us money?
If you look over there, you see that the correction officer is roughly 71,665. So if you projected that out for a year, those 4 together, what,
84, 285, 286.
286 a year to have those 4, and say that we're doing 24 inmates for a full month for a year. You come up with that number, and
Roughly 500.
yeah,
24.
Plus the transport and everything else.
right, the transport.
Yeah.
So yes, it would be cheaper in the long run to
What kind of inmates do we send down there? It's like, what are we sending down there?
Inmate wise?
I'm talking about like what type of, is there a classification of inmates? Like, are they, like, 'cause we're talking about a minimum security opening.
Minimum security here, we're not sending minimum security. Well, there probably is.
So how does that work out in the jail? So what's the ratio in the jail, minimum and not minimum? What do you think it is? I'm just saying, like, well, okay. You understand what I'm getting at?
Well, these are questions for tomorrow's workshop if we'll on.
You opened it up.
Are you asking me what is the number of minimum security inmates that we have to be able to put back there to free up bed space?
Yes. Yeah, I'm just wanting to make sure that if we do it, we don't fill the jail up over here with things that we can't move over there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm concerned about.
Minimum security though. You can only put minimum security in there.
Well,
I think I got it. I think.
Henderson County can take whoever we think. So,
And typically what you're trying to send down there is people that it's gonna be a while before they have a trial
That'll be a while.
or court dates and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay.
I would imagine it'll take our new district attorney a little while to get his legs underneath him. Have to think, I mean,
Well, that's it. And I will, I've talked to Judge Martin. There's,
But I want to be very clear to the court that, you know, even though we're working on getting the back portion of that jail open, I can't control how many people get arrested and held or not held or whatever, so I'm not making any guarantees to the court that this will fix the problem.
I agree, cause like,
Sure, everybody.
no,
even though if we're gonna get a new day, go quicker, it's like we talked about the other day. We have 11 DPS officers here now. I mean, we have all the officers here that we haven't had in forever.
Years.
And so even though we might can move them out quicker, you're still putting more in there because now we've got more patrols in the streets.
Do I believe that it will help? I do believe that it would help. That's one, I want to make sure.
and that's what we want to do in the budget process is to do a balance to make sure we got covered in the contract services in the event that, you know, if we get 24 or we can get that 24 beds opened up for minimum security, you know, and a kind of projected time frame of when to do that, and then the hiring of the officers to do that. So
did you say last time it'd take probably a year to get that done?
I don't remember giving a date. I would say that if I was to guess, we'd try to get it done in 10 a year.
That's them doing it just a little at a time. Now, if we, like I asked you the other day, to see kind of what it would cost to go ahead and do it up front and get it done, then would it be better on us to do that or to keep sitting down there?
Yeah, I got you.
And then too, remember, once we do get it done, they still have to go to the jail commission to
Right.
a lesson.
Well, take a year.
But I don't foresee it.
no, jail commission is pretty quick.
That's
Yeah, jail commission is pretty quick in most cases
sure.
to do stuff like that, I believe.
I can't say I know how to do it like that. I don't.
All right. So that was my recommendation. Is there any other recommendations? Go back to the.
Well, he's got the auditor on there. So I'm not saying they don't need them. Where you gonna put them?
Ben's gonna move into the office that Lisa's in, and then they will put two in the office.
So the veteran officer said, he sent me a text the other day. Let me see if I can find it real quick, but basically he said, what about keeping me part-time and adding a part-time 30 hours? And they would work at the office 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. So 2 part-time. Him part-time and his helper part-time.
Well, that would make a whole lot more sense.
That's what we're looking for. Things that make sense.
But he hadn't submitted that. He submitted it to you.
Yeah, he just,
Because
he
you're,
was just,
yours
he
is
was
liaison.
just bouncing it off. I guess he was just bouncing it off of him.
Okay,
I mean, we still have time to change things.
we do,
So,
we do. But the purpose today is not to get into the details, but rather to get into what point are we gonna go as far as the salary increases.
So while we're talking about this, you're showing, I've asked for 2 and you're showing none.
Correct.
Is there any way I could at least get
I
one?
mean,
considered?
you have the same number as every other
I have
commissioner.
now.
You have the same number as every other commissioner, plus you have trustees.
Well, I don't right now because of the heat, but I have been left with a lot worse precinct than the others. And I'm trying to turn it around. And we're making a difference. And that's the reason I'm asking. I'm not just asking because I want to ask for two people.
understand.
But I am willing to at least ask for one instead of two, and that could benefit me some. And I mean, that's,
All right.
Can I ask you this question, Bobby?
yeah,
So I think I had this conversation with Mitch too, and I've had it myself.
Well, one
I'm
of us
not-
listened.
I'm not gonna disagree with you. You've got the worst precinct. At all. But the way I think of it is you could have 9 employees or you could have 29 employees. It doesn't matter because we're still dealing with the same budget. And
Materials.
yes, like with, for example, I'll take my precinct. I've got 9 employees and we're out of money now. And we're waiting for October to come. It wouldn't, and if I had 11 employees, I'm still gonna be out of money. So,
He thought of that. He asked for more money too.
and that's what I was getting at, maybe not more employees. And if you could get a little bit more money.
well, I've asked for more money too. But I still, I'm short employees that, what's the word I need to use, qualified employees that can do other stuff, that can run machineries and stuff.
You got those guys lined up?
I've got 2 in mind, yes. One pretty definite.
Does that make sense though?
No,
No.
because
Well-
we're still working.
It's the same principle
Yeah.
though. It's almost the same principle as saying, I'm not here to argue about it, but I guess I am probably, but to say, we've kicked this can down the road 25 years and we need to straighten it out and try to straighten something out. We don't have the money to straighten it out.
No, I agree.
And we don't, and there, you know, daylight saving time keeps us from working 12 hours a day. So you do the best. Look, I'm just to the point where I'm going to do the best I can where I'm at and move to the next spot. Because there's no,
That's
I
all you
wish
can
I
do.
could snap my fingers and make it all better for everybody, but I can make it better where I'm at and then I move to the next thing.
And that's what we're doing,
Mhm.
but. it's
Sometimes
just-
all you can do is all you can do.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Like I'm sure we would all, I'm sure all of our departments would probably like to do better. And we just, you know, we can't. I mean, like, I think we've had this same conversation about tax rate available to tax, you know.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we, the kind of county that we are, and things are the exemptions exist, which is good, we're gonna have a hard time accomplishing everything we want to accomplish.
Well.
I got a whole
I
list of
mean,
roads that I need to do. I'm sure we all do,
I've
but we're out
got,
of money.
I've got all my roads on that list. All but what we've redone already.
That's, employees aren't gonna change that fact, but
Well-
money does.
So,
It
well,
makes both. Yes.
we basically increased the road and bridge budget by $1 million by going back to the 25%.
Yeah.
And what I need to do is sit down with each one of y'all and then go over your individual budgets to see where we've got, because I don't know we didn't really know what your beginning balances or ending balances were gonna be last year. And now we have that information, so that will help us. And I anticipate that what that will do is change what your contingency amount's gonna be, not really how much additional materials that you'll get, but again,
But I don't think we can answer your question, Judge. You want to go over the salaries. I don't think you can answer that until we go to what we are or not going to do on the rest, because, you know, based on if we agreed to everything that you had on here as far as the 5% increase, everything requested, you're talking about 2.7 million. It's gonna come to the
Total approved rate.
plus 0.045. But if we cut some down and go to the plus 0.035, if we could cut $500,000, then we could go down to that rate. So I think it's all one. It's just not about
Right.
where we're going to do the salaries or anything else. We got to figure out where else we're going to cut, and then I think the salary should honestly be last, and see where we can go with it. That's my opinion. I don't know about the other.
I think what Brandon's saying, which is what I think that the court's been saying from the beginning, is that we need to know what our revenue is. So I think we're going to have the difficult conversation related to tax rate before we know what we have to work with.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what this does right here.
So for example, if we wanted to go, I don't think we can go to the no new revenue rate or the plus 0.15. I don't think we can do that. I'd love to do it, but I don't think we can. I think we need to look at the 0.035 relative to what everybody wants, or I should say wants, needs, plus the salary. I think that's the number we should be looking at, is the 0.035, and then adjust ourselves to that number. That's Brandon's opinion.
I agree, and also, I would not object to us budgeting a deficit amount, considering we added $2.5 million to our general fund after last year. But again, that amount needs to be primarily for, if we did a budget deficit amount, it needs to be going back into road and bridge materials, in my viewpoint.
I agree.
So, but yeah,
Well, by budgeting, in my opinion, by budgeting a deficit amount this year, what will end up happening is that we're going to effectively, and it may be okay. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying if we budget a deficit amount, it's going to be much more difficult for us to pursue a project related to the build out of a new annex or because I think even though we may seek a bond referendum related to the construction on the old courthouse and build out on a new annex, I think we should put some money in the budget this year related to those efforts. Any thoughts?
I agree.
I agree. Man,
to the build out
Yes.
of, okay.
Yes,
Well,
I anticipate, Judge, that we'll have some expenses related to preparation of the election for bond or whatever, whatever we want to try to do. I would anticipate that we would have some expenses related to that we may want to put in the budget.
okay. And some of those hopefully we'll be able to are in our current budget. I believe there's up to $100,000 that we can use. I don't know what the cost is going to be. We haven't gotten that proposal yet, but I'm anticipating that we can cover the initial work with Quantsu to get us to a preliminary drawing and a cost estimate to then go forward to present and determine whether or not we want to go for a bond election in May. So I think most of that will be covered in this year's budget. Again, I don't know what the estimate's going to be on that. But what would the money for fiscal year 27 be used for? Because
in my opinion, we've had expenses related to these items this year that we're taking out of contingency, and so I was thinking it might be beneficial for us to do a look forward to try to set some money aside for, um, you know, and there may be already money in it, but I think that we would want to maintain the parking lot. We would want to maintain, we would want to maintain some of those things that we may not be thinking about right now. Uh, and it's, to me, it'd be prudent to also look at maybe some money in the budget to spruce up some of those buildings that we intend on no longer occupying, or moving costs, or some of these things. They may already be in there, but I just didn't see them on my review through.
No, there's nothing in the new budget regarding the anticipation of the restoration of the courthouse and the refinishing of the building on the annex, new annex, courthouse annex.
I'd like to see if we could get, and I don't know how we can do this, we put our brains together to get the tax office over there as quick as we can. The way, number one, we got room, number two, we're not paying rent anymore.
Okay.
But
And the rent is $1,600 a month.
Mhm.
And what would it cost to finish out, do finish out work? Or facilities for them,
I don't know,
about 200,000.
not for a room, it's no way.
But in my thought process, and I think we've talked about this some before, is that rent is gone money. That's money that's that's not there anymore. And if we're investing in the future of the county by building out a building, I don't think we need to do it prematurely. I think that we should do it, in line with a larger plan, but it might be beneficial that we're, building into our own future. I just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it may not be the permanent solution for it, be a temporary.
Right.
So I wasn't talking about permanent unless you could, we just have to think about it, it's just an idea. But the quicker they're out, the quicker they're better, not only because of the rent, but number two, because there ain't no room over there.
Well, yeah, but first of all, we don't want the old building. We have to get a fire suppression system, sprinkler system put in, and that is as soon as the budget process is over, that's when we'll start doing it. It's going to run about $100,000.
And that's to take precedence over that.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, but I'm hoping to do that with the money in this year's budget, but I'm rapidly running out of time.
Okay.
So, but we can't do anything in that other building, the single story building, until the fire sprinkler system has been installed. And so that's what we're working on now. And then once that's done, then we can look at actually doing some finish out work to move other offices into it. Okay, but I don't want to, because the 2-story one section is designed to kind of accommodate everybody in the courthouse. I don't want to try to prematurely finish something out, but we'd have to end up tearing it out.
I agree.
Okay. And in both cases, you're looking at all new electrical, all new heating and air conditioning. So, and that's why I said it'll get expensive to do that. So
I guess,
is there any suggestion on how much you would like to put into the budget for, and again, it's almost like a contingency is what it could be, because we won't be spending, I don't anticipate us spending any money on that facility in fiscal year 27. Because the bond election won't occur till May, and then it'll take several months for that, and then we to move forward.
I think we should budget an air conditioning and fire suppression system.
Okay.
That's got to be done.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to use the building.
Right. So I can do that under public buildings. Under public buildings, I currently have, I believe, $200,000 budgeted. And I can increase that to what? What would you like me to increase that to?
Just whatever, I mean, we get some estimates, but I think the air conditioning and fire suppression systems should be the first steps to that building. Y'all agree? I mean, you gotta have that before you can start anything else, right?
Well, another 100 do it.
Well, code is not gonna let you go in there and do much of anything until you have that fire suppression system.
Right. We know that's 100 and, I don't know what 100 would do it. Again, it depends on how much you want to finish out. It'd be the front part of it
Yeah.
that we would do and it'd be all, everything's.
Well, no, we budgeted $500,000 in this courthouse for years. Spent $500,000 on Paul Michael building.
Okay, so is that the map, in the map you want me to put in there, 500,000? That's currently 200.
Cliff, what do you think?
I think that you've got a large two-story building on the right-hand side that you can work on and finish out before you put a fire suppression system. Now, the air conditioner on the left-hand, the older building does work. But without the fire suppression system, you need an air conditioner on the newer building. You need a fire suppression system on the older building. It's my understanding. Is that correct?
Yes, the whole building needs a fire suppression, a sprinkler system before we can move forward with any kind of work, construction work inside.
The new building needs air conditioning.
Yes. And you don't necessarily want to try to put air conditioning in until you've got a structure of offices and finish out work. But
Yeah, I think that we've got a large building that doesn't need a fire suppression. Maybe we modify our plans or we talk about plans related to building out the newer side and then put the fire suppression in, once we've, got things pretty well established. It's all, I don't like to say it like this, but it is $100,000. In the grander scheme of things on a full build out, you would theoretically, and you'd want to have all the building available so that you could execute a master plan for the buildings rather than doing one side. And like you said, Judge, tearing out a part of it and, moving it over once you get the fire suppression in. So, I mean, there's multiple ways to look at it and they both have their pluses and their minuses.
okay,
How much y'all think?
With,
well,
I thought if we've already got 200 in there, we up it to the 500. So that would be adding another 300.
okay,
You're thinking you're covering both fire suppression and air conditioning with that.
yes, finish, not just air conditioning, but a finish out, partial finish out of the old side.
I think we need to come up with a
So we can
plan,
move.
but we need to have the money when we get the plan. We'll
Okay.
have it there. We won't have to be moving money around me, but I think we'll have to get a better grasp of what we want to do, but the money will be there.
So what you're saying is just don't put the money there, but don't just jump up and throw something together.
No.
Let's get a plan and
No,
then do it with the money set.
Right,
Yes.
and that's, and, the bond election will tell us a lot. Once that occurs in May, but we can start working toward that. And in that regard, as far as plans for moving the TAC office, fire marshal. So
To the smaller building or the big
to the
building?
smaller building. It'd be, again, we're going to be spending money to do a whole design of the two-story building. And
that will incorporate the fire marshal's office over into that, or we're gonna continue to use?
no, it can, yes, it can.
You give it
That's
100,
the plan.
Cliff?
I think we have discussions with Komatsu on how to build out the entire two buildings, and then pursue a plan of action that makes most sense.
Right, but do you agree with putting 500 in there for public buildings?
That's fine. I think, I go back to the first statement again. I think we need to decide how much we're going to tax the people before we decide how we're going to spend their money.
So what? Am I understanding right that you think we shouldn't do this?
No, I'm saying that I think that that we have to go ahead and decide what our tax rate's going to be before we, before we make too many plans. This is a puzzle and all the pieces have to fit together. I'm not opposed to deficit spending, but I think we just need to go in with our eyes wide open.
Well, I think with what you just said, if we're gonna do it that way, I mean, we're all gonna have to make a decision. This ain't very fun.
And technically, it's not deficit spending, it's budgeting to go into the fund balance. Again, we have
Yes, that's true.
$12 million, actually $13 million in the fund balance. And we only need 6 million for emergency use. That is the recommended amount. And so we have 7 million that in addition that we can use for whatever.
And I really don't want to see us get right down to just what we gotta have for the emergency. I'd like to see it above that a little. You know what I'm saying? Because we never know what else is gonna be emergency. If we have one emergency that we have to use that 6 million.
6 million is roughly 6 months worth.
That's what I'm saying. But if something happened that we got in that situation, it's a good possibility we'd need more than that.
Well,
Cause that's just the basic. Am I right?
so what would you like to see as our reserve?
As our reserve, I would be much more comfortable with 8 million than I had 6 million.
Okay.
Well, I think with everything you presented, it's plus 0.35. No higher than that. I mean, you look at it maybe the plus 0.25, but the 0.35, I think, is where we're at.
I could probably be out of turn here because I hadn't really got my mind. You know, I've got a lot of, I'm probably gonna ask myself, I'll second guess myself, but it's hard for me to ask the public to pay more taxes when we've got double in the bank of what our cushion has to be. Like we're asking them to pay more taxes and we got $7 million in surplus over what we. I know that was, am I wrong on that? Like, do you think I'm wrong?
No, I think, no, I don't. But
It's been pretty weird that you and I have agreed on stuff lately. It's making me very nervous.
But what I don't disagree with what you said at all. What you said makes sense, but how did we get to where we're at today? You know, because we were way down here, and it took us forever to get it built up. And the reason it got built up is because no money was spent. Because they built it up and now we're in this situation. And we want to not make sure we get in that position again.
I understand that.
Well, what I would like to point out is this 25 million right here. That total revenue right there. If we hadn't if we hadn't gone with basically no new revenue rates for the last 2 years, that would be 28 million.
I
So
understand that.
what we're doing is we're progressively lowering the amount of money we have available to us.
I understand that.
And that's you know,
And the
and
expenses
at the
keep
same,
going up.
at the same time, we're lowering the amount of revenue available to us. And again, this is all from the taxpayers, okay? Taxpayers are wanting us to get the roads fixed, okay? They're wanting us to protect them, which our sheriff's been doing a great job doing that. And, but we can't do that. We can't increase the services with lower revenues.
And we're not taking into account, it's not on this budget, but it's gonna be on next year's or the next year's, the $500,000 for
Radio.
maintenance,
Radios.
which that would eat into things if we
Right.
don't prepare for it now.
Right. And again, we're dealing with a situation, and I'm hoping it's just unique this year in that the value of the property has declined from the prior year. And so, you know, normally it increases and, you know, that helps us, but it's declined. And so,
We're listening, Judge.
so it,
So I know this is gonna be like a strange question to you, but if we're talking about next year. Just by some strange chance that the public doesn't pass the bond. What are we gonna do then?
I can answer that. I've been shy about this.
Well, what I would say is like, is there any kind of contingency plan for us to put duct tape on the windows upstairs or?
So if the people vote. If the people vote, this is it's coming from me. If the people vote not to restore this courthouse. They basically have said, we don't care about this building. That's what they've said. And so what we do is I think we should move everybody in the Paul Michael building, and then you have to come with a plan B. What are we gonna do with this building? Because people have said they don't want it by a vote.
okay, what if their vote is they don't want the Paul Michael building finished out, not that they don't want the courthouse restored?
Well, there's no, and we need to get Komatsu in here to have Carl or Komatsu come in here and tell the public, not us, because we've said it, they don't believe us. Have Komatsu say, we cannot stay in this building if this courthouse is going to get restored. Because we can't.
Well,
it's the natural progression of that question that the judge and you guys are making is that you're making assumptions that if the bond fails, either they don't want the old courthouse or they don't want to build out the Paul Michael building. If that's truly your question and you believe that one of those two might be true, then we need to have two separate bond elections. Do you want to restore the courthouse? And do you want to build out the new courthouse annex?
Well, if I was a betting man, and I'm not, but if I was, because I don't gamble, I could tell you that one of those will pass and one of those will fail.
Which one?
You know. So here's the deal, like we have, we try to give them the best, what you try to do in leadership is give them the best options. But they don't, I have had some people say, y'all not giving us an option. You are tying the Paul Michael building to the courthouse so that we are being held at gunpoint on the issue. So you understand what I'm saying? That's how they feel about it. Like they don't have a choice in the matter that we have, we either do or don't take care of the courthouse. But
we don't have a choice.
But so, and maybe I misunderstood some things, but when I first became aware that we were attempting to restore the courthouse, we had talked about another building, using it temporarily to run the courthouse out of. We did talk about that. And to use it temporarily till the courthouse was done, and then we'd do something else. Then we evolved to building a courthouse annex, is that what you call it? That was the second idea that we came up with that seemed to be, that's where I began to back up a little bit because I knew that it was going to be a $30 million project. And I ran on three things, and that was lower taxes, sheriff's office being well funded, and roads. That's what I ran on. And I was told right out the gate, you're going to have to compromise. And I don't like that. There's probably some truth to that. But anyway, so let me finish that thought. So that's what the original idea was. We might use a different building, just set up cubicles in it and work out that while this is being redone. Then we transitioned to that. We transitioned to the Paul Michael building, which seemed like a good idea, but we didn't know that we couldn't leave this building. We couldn't just leave it. We found out that we were married to, we had to keep this building up. So we found out a whole lot of things along the way, didn't we? True or false?
True.
Okay. So, now we're here, and somewhere along the line, like we've there's a gap between us and the public sentiment towards all of it. I don't think that the Paul Michael building is necessarily a bad idea. I don't see how we can stay in this building, you know, and remodel it or restore it. I don't know if
Plus-
that's possible.
We hadn't talked, you're not taking consideration. DA getting sold, the NS getting sold, we've already sold that. If they restore this courthouse, we all can't move back in here because we don't have enough room. We don't have enough room now. And we have to have extra space, which is what that building is for.
We're doing in government what I do every day. I make do what I got.
Mhm.
I don't have enough space where I'm at right now. But anyways, it's a conundrum. It's a rock and a hard spot. And
It doesn't make sense to restore the courthouse and to not have a facility, additional facility. Because just restoring this courthouse does not address many of the problems. If we bring the courtrooms back here, you still got the security issues for the courtrooms. You don't have an ability, won't have room for a third court if we need one, expansion. And you still got all of the employees, on top of each other. You know, without looking at additional space.
I've said that the building's great and we've got it. And let's move forward.
I'm just saying, if they don't let us, what are you gonna do? Like Cliff said, there are two different bonds on that deal.
Then we phase it out. We phase out the Paul Michael.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, we've talked about the jail today. These are just concerns that I have as just a person who thinks about a lot of things. There's gonna be a building program at some point on a jail. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but I think just the way our culture is and the way our county's growing, we're going to have to do, at some point, we'll be back into a corner there. And the sheriff made his promise, well, I'm putting people in jail. Yeah. That's what he
I know, and
said.
it drives me insane that we're spending over $500,000 doing to Henderson County. It drives me
It
crazy.
doesn't drive me crazy. I just think like, okay, we're fixing to,
What's the alternative?
yeah, we don't, right.
We
just-
can invest that money in ourselves and make money is the alternative, but we saw how that went.
Well, we just can't do them all. Like the public's not gonna let us do all of that. They've pretty, you know, you could say it's a small group of people, but the general sentiment, I've got people that are school teachers, different people that they don't get on Facebook, make a big stink. They come say, hey, this is what you need to do. And I don't always agree with their ideas. Like I'm thinking that's not feasible. You know, security matters. There's just a whole lot of things that people don't know what they don't know, including me. But anyway, so, you know, there's just a whole lot of things coming our way. I just want to make sure that what we do is the right, like we need another courtroom. Like I didn't agree with that at first, but as that jail fills up, we may have to create another court
And it's not our
just to
fault.
move them. And then a lot of times Texas Department of Corrections, TDC doesn't take them always, do they? Like they don't always have an opening for somebody. Is that right? Is that true? Yeah, so it's just culture. It's a mess right now.
It's not the sport's fault. It was put on us. It's a need. It needs to be addressed. And I agree with you. We can't all do it at once, but this has to be addressed. And that's going to have to get addressed at some point in time, because guess what?
But
It ain't going to get any cheaper.
But I told
and
you-
somebody's going to be foot with the bill.
I told you when it all started, when we all started. You have to choose one.
So going back to the objectives for today, there's two things that we have to come out of this meeting with. That is, what is the salary increase going to be for county employees? The reason we have to do that today is because it has to be published in the paper tomorrow. Or the ad has to be in the paper tomorrow, so we have to determine that. And then determine the proposed tax rate.
And the salary increase does not include what the sheriff asked for. Just a straight across the board salary increase, what you're talking about?
Well, the only thing we really have to decide is what the elected officials are going, salary increase is gonna be. Because that's what gets published in the paper. So, but it wouldn't, I don't perceive that it would be wise to come up with a elected official salary increase without notifying, what the.
Can we change it later?
Not the elected officials, no. Not without going through the whole process of publishing it again and getting, and this all triggers. By publishing the salary, for elected officials. Then that triggers the timing for the grievance hearing. In other words, the elected officials would get notified the, following day, probably on Tuesday. They will get notified of what the new rates are gonna be, and then they have 5 days to, decide if they want to go before a grievance committee. And that grievance committee, is scheduled to meet on Friday, the 21st. Okay, if we make a change in elected official salary, we go through that whole process again.
Okay, so basically what we're determining was what we're gonna give the rest of the county by posting what we think the elected officials need to have.
Well,
Or do we think that the elected officials get a bigger raise than the county employees do?
I don't think that would be a wise decision.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just saying like, what, so basically what we're doing is we're just saying this is what we think that we're gonna set the rate.
Not what we think, this is what we're going to go forward with. With the elected officials.
Cliff,
Yeah.
where you at?
Again, if you don't go, if you wanna change the other employees' rates, you can. In our budget process, but you can't change the elected officials'
Okay.
rates unless you go through the process
Okay.
of publishing them and giving them a chance to grieve.
But we don't have do we have any kind of, do we know what that's gonna, like, what the breakdown, what that would be for the elected officials? How much it would cost the county at 3% or 5% or 1%?
Yeah.
This is it right here.
Yeah,
Well, not just the county official. I mean, that's the whole amount that's in
Yeah,
here.
it's not just us.
No,
oh, that's all the employees.
Yeah, it's all of them.
yes.
I'm just curious, yeah. Crazy, isn't it? The process. Seems backwards to me. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm perfectly okay with, moving forward with a 3% increase for elected officials with the knowledge that, we can make it higher for the employees if we can put the budget together.
I'd agree with let's just meet in the middle on both of them. Go to 0.035 tax rate. That's a $2.2 million increase. We met in the middle there and meet in the middle of the 3% increase. Met in the middle on both of them. That's my suggestion.
Well, I think the middle would be 0.025.
Because if you look at let me find my page.
You have five options. You have
Yeah,
no new revenue,
if you look at the no new
1,
revenue
2,
rate,
3, and 4.
if you look at the no new revenue rate and 0.15, that's a deficit. So
Yeah.
you start getting to a positive at 25, 35, 45. And so to me, you're positive, the middle is 35.
Well,
Yeah, I propose the 3% for elected officials with the ability to come back later and do more for the employees.
Okay,
I could agree on that.
Do we not need to know about the rate yet either?
yeah, we need to select the rate.
Select the rate.
I choose the 0.035.
And I think that I would go, I would split the difference between with what the judge is saying and in dipping into the fund balance and with what Brandon's saying and propose a 0.025.
.02, okay.
Yeah, 1 and 1, 3 more of that.
One and one.
So you're saying 3%?
I said 0.035, Cliff said 0.025.
3% employees are right now. 3% countywide. With the option that we can go back and up the employees to 5% off. Not the elected officials, but the employees. And so we can do that. So that's the decision on that. Now, what about the tax rate? Give me the rate itself, not the .025 you're talking about. We don't have to use this particular one if you just want to use like.
He's a 4196 is what he's talking about.
4196.
I said 42.96.
Okay. What if we compromise and then 42?
How about 4150?
42.25.
Can
41.
you extend the rest, can you extend the rest of those rates out there, Judge?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Those increments are $500,000 increments.
Pretty much, yes.
What about 42.30?
You've already had your say.
I didn't know we.
You didn't know we could
I
change
didn't know they go in the middle of something. I was just going by what's here.
30 back. 40 back.
I mean, I hate to do anything, but at the same time, like the judge said earlier, the position we're in is because we haven't done anything in the last 2 years.
Right.
And our people want to see a change. And the only way that we can do a change is to up it a little bit.
And all our expenses have gone
And
up
well, they hadn't just went up, they've
Gone
went
up a
up
lot.
stupid
a lot more
over
than
the last 2
a
years.
lot more than 0.028
Yeah, 3.5.
or whatever.
All right, give me a
So-
final rate.
So I think I could agree with what Brandon said. Let's go to
42.30.
42.30,
That meets in-
42.3.
Yeah, it meets in the middle
42.3.
between 41.9 and 42.9.
Okay.
What did you say? 40 what?
42.3.
42.3.
You know, I'm just gonna stay where Cliff's at on 4196.
They judge.
All right, Judge, it's up to you.
That's a $500,000. That's more than 500, isn't it?
Well, not if we go to the 42.3. Is
The
it?
no new revenue is 25. That would be a decrease, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
So
If you go to the 42.3, you're looking at approximately 2 million, 1.9 around there.
yeah, I ain't doing that.
You good with that?
No.
I made a motion to accept 41
We don't,
0.96.
We don't need a motion. Right
we
now.
don't do motions. We're not voting on anything here, but we're informally making a decision on what to present. We will actually make this decision this afternoon. And so it'd be very helpful that we can talk freely about it now and then
So that what Cliff is wanting, what Cliff would be, let's see, hang on a second, or 26, 228. So that 4196 is $800,000 increase. Is that right?
Is a what?
It's a $800,000 increase. 4196 would be 800,000 more than fiscal year 2026. And you're wanting $1.5 million?
No.
the 4160 right there would be 1.6 million.
4196 would be 1.6 million
That is correct.
over the no new
But the
revenue.
majority of that goes to Road and Bridge.
Oh, I'm talking about over last year's budget.
It'll be 201,000 over last year's budget if you don't include road
Yeah.
and bridge.
Right.
So we're talking about 201,000 with the 0.2025, and then if ours is 0.030, you're looking at probably $400,000 more without the road and bridge. So $200,000 more.
You still go into the fund balance, but not as deep.
Yeah. So plus, I'm saying, I said 42.30, which is probably gonna be a plus 030. You got 25 and 35. I got 2893. 0.2093. I mean, sorry, 0.3093.
That's what you're looking at?
Yeah, 0.3093. That's in the middle of the 0.35 and 0.25.
Oh, you're talking about, okay.
Pardon me.
What would be that rate? 0.3093. You're talking about adding to the no new revenue?
Yes, so no
Well,
new revenue, no new revenue plus 0.03093.
3093.
Yes, sir. And that should be about 400,000 more to 200 on the county side, and I don't know about road and bridge. I'm gonna figure that out.
Cause that road and bridge number is the 10 cents added into that,
Yes.
so we don't,
Now, there would be more. It'd be about 50,000 more. If I'm guessing, I mean, I'm doing van math, so I don't have a calculator or nothing.
So you're looking at 42.46. That's kind of the split in between the two right there.
Yeah,
42.46. That is your no new revenue rate plus 0.03093. Are we good with that?
that's mine and Bobby's. Mitch and Cliff said, so it's up to you, I think.
Yeah.
Are y'all good with that? Meaning, or do y'all still stick at the 0.025?
is this where I have to compromise?
Yeah.
Is that what the guy was talking about?
Cliff, can you hear?
I don't think that we need to go too deep into this since we're not having an election here.
Right.
We're not having in a vote rather.
And we're gonna do that at 2 o'clock today.
Yes. That's what we're gonna propose. And again, that can change. It can change before the final budget's done, but we just need to have a rate to propose, because again, we have to have a newspaper article ad out there that we're going to have a public hearing, and this is the rate at which we are going to, we are proposing, and then at that public hearing, we can take input and then make a decision to change it if we want. But, you know, again, if you change that, then it changes all the other dynamics as far as what you are going to spend. So, all right, so I got 3% salary increase. That's the number one is done. Number two, tax rate 42.46. And that is pretty much agreed upon. If nobody says no, or
I didn't agree to that.
okay. But most of us did. So,
Well, I didn't.
okay. All right.
Duly noted.
Duly noted. So, and again, we're not actually voting here. We will be voting tomorrow, this afternoon. So, all right, and then address additional anticipated costs, which I have done, but we haven't. We got to put all these numbers together then to determine. Now that we have a projected revenue, we can go forward with that. And are you going to be here tomorrow, Sheriff, to talk about budget? Okay, tomorrow we're gonna move forward with the budget process for those people now that we have a rate set and what we're projecting, and to get more input.
The position that we found out.
Well, it's gonna be everything. It's gonna be budgets, the whole budgets.
It's fair.
So,
It's fair.
this is for my team tomorrow.
We'll schedule a time that you want to present. Schedule a time. So I'm trying to find for those people that want to come back and make a presentation, so.
Well, I mean, the presentation will be, I mean, you already talked about it, right? That's not sound like what's gonna be, what's the.
That's what,
I don't mean to say certain way, but what's the present?
okay, we need to discuss the jail situation and what the projected costs are going to be for the budget for next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We don't wanna, we wanna try to make them, reflect what the actuals are gonna be. And because of what's happened in the last 3 months, what we've got budgeted for this year is not gonna work for next year. And that's what I want to address. So, and we put that in the cost, additional cost, so. Okay, what else?
So did you consider anything about the stipend and that you shut it down like you mentioned it at election? Because all those duties transferred to the EA.
No, we haven't considered that. We didn't consider we'll probably talk about it tomorrow. The additional pay increases or change in job positions. And again, right, my understanding is, and I haven't gotten this clarified, is you can't pay an elected official a stipend.
You can do it, yeah, we've done it in the past.
Not,
As long as it's not in the duty of the, or, the elected officials do. Is what the law say. And
Okay.
so when we.
Okay.
got an EA,
when we file elected officials' salary,
right,
that what the county is going to be paying them in the next year.
and that's why I'm mentioning it now.
Right. Okay, that would be in excess of what the county is paying, so we would have to have a stipend included in that.
Right, it's a different line item. That's the way they did it when we did Karen, she was doing, I think it's procedures. That was not in her, duty. And so we were stopping, I want to say $5,000 or $6,000
Okay,
to her. I handled to make sure that everybody was doing their part on the people from that who were meeting the numbers.
okay, well, we'll schedule a time tomorrow to talk about it, okay? All right, anything else? So at 2 o'clock today, we will have a special commissioner court meeting. And the 2 items that were discussed today at the workshop will be on there, and there's a bunch of additional items too. And then tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we will have another budget workshop with scheduled presentations. And then Wednesday, we have another commissioner court meeting at 9 a.m. So. And then Friday, we have a commissioner court meeting at 9 a.m.
For what? What's Friday?
I believe Friday is related to the pad. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, but we're not invited.
Friday. Like, no ifs, ands, buts. It's time since.
I wasn't sure that we agreed on that.
Okay, well, you can make that clear in the,
What's going on out there? Town hall?
Tomorrow, Sunday.
we'll make that announcement at the,
We made it to where it was called so we can all be there.
No, I saw that. You should. I did saw that.